People this, when people show you who they are, believe them. Just believe them. Don't stop making excuses for people, man. Some people you just want to be loyal. They just ain't fucking loyal people. Some people just up people, ain't got nothing to do with you. They just people. Some people you might want them to care about you and your feelings, but they just give a about their feelings. Some people you may want them to be solid. They just not solid. So when people show you who they is, do yourself the biggest favor and believe them. Because if you don't and you keep making excuses for them and they ways, you the only person that gonna get hurt in the goddamn end. So when people show you who they is, believe them.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Crypto plus Passports equals Freedom. I'm your host, Ohini Mara. Before we get started, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, leave a comment and share this video so we can attack that YouTube algorithm and grow this channel. And with that, let's get into the topic. Today, we will be discussing when people show you who they are, believe them. In my life, I have had to deal with many disappointments. I've been let down by many so-called friends, girlfriends, and acquaintances. Throughout my life, I had to learn the hard way that many people you believe are here to help and support you are actually here to take advantage of you. I lost a number of friends, ended a number of relationships, and simply had to cut off contact with people I believed had my best interest at heart. In many cases, I would be upset with them. I would blame them for the state of our relationship. I would think to myself, if they would just be better, if they would just do better, we would not have these difficulties. However, at some point, you have to realize it is not them who is the problem. It is you, because you refuse to accept reality. Many of us are currently living in loveless relationships, dealing with frenemies, and living with hardships that we could break out of if we just accepted one of the truest statements. When people show you who they are, believe them. Don't try to make excuses for those who wish ill will on you. Stop trying to rationalize why certain individuals treat you a certain way. Stop trying to believe individuals will change. And most importantly, stop trying to blame yourself for other people's actions. You must come to the reality and the conclusion that when people show you who they are, believe them. Some years back, I was dealing with a young lady who had a number of red flags and bad habits. The beta Simpson in me was arrogant enough to think that love would change her. She was very messy, she drank, she smoked, and showed a lot of tendencies that she was for the streets. I tried to turn a 304 into a housewife. I bought a new home, helped her get her very first vehicle, cleaned her up, and made her look like a respectable young lady. See, I believed that if I did all of these things, that she would appreciate it and ultimately appreciate me. Of course, the story ends like all the other stories. She never liked to clean the house. She gave me attitude, and of course I found out the hard way that she was for the streets. I was incredibly angry when I learned all of these things, but of course it was not her fault, because the reality is, way before we engaged in a relationship, she showed me who she was, but I didn't want to believe her. She showed me everything I needed to know before I made an investment, and I stupidly ignored all of the warning signs. Right now, many of you are in a loveless dating relationship. The person is showing you that they are not interested in you. They are showing you in many ways that they are very selfish and they do not respect your time or effort. You are constantly in fights and disagreements with your significant other. The relationship is based on what you can do for them, what makes them happy, and how you can make yourself more useful to them. They are not interested in what you want or what you need. They blatantly disrespect you and do not show any concern for your well-being. Despite everything that I just said, Many of us are trying to make relationships work with people who have no interest in building anything with us. We are making excuses for them. We are hoping that they will change. However, they are clearly showing us how they feel about us and showing us who they are. However, there is a mechanism in us that fails to live by the golden rule. They are showing us who they are, and we refuse to believe them. They disrespect, they use snide remarks. The lack of concern for you is clearly evident, but you are wasting time, hoping that with time, this person will see you for who you really are and change their ways. Just like me, some of you out there believe that if you just show them a little more love, give them a little more money, and jump through a series of hoops, this person will change and warm up to you. However, they are showing you in real time exactly how they feel about you. If they are showing you red flags in the beginning, it will not get any better as time goes on, and you have to accept this reality. When people show you who they are, you must believe them. To keep in line with this, many of us have fake and phony friends. Those individuals that are in your life not because they genuinely enjoy your friendship, but to secretly enjoy your failures. They have ulterior motives and attempt to disguise them. These people that want to keep you around to keep tabs on your life because they're hoping that one day they can take joy in your failure. For example, I have always had a theory about Facebook or Meta, whichever one you want to call it. I always believed that many people frequented the site to connect with old friends, but not for the reason you may think. What I noticed was whenever I reported on something positive, many people would barely respond. I would probably get 1 or 2 likes for good news. However, when I was reporting bad news in my life, I would get many responses and likes. It suddenly dawned on me that people were not my friends on social media sites because they genuinely cared about me or the friendship. They were simply measuring their lives against mine. They used my experiences as a measuring tool for their life. So when I was doing good, no one wanted to hear it. However, when I was going through hardships, everybody was more than happy to respond because my hardships made them feel better about their lives. You have friends right now in your life that live by the same rule that I just described. They are not here to celebrate your victories. They are here to celebrate your failures. If possible, they will participate in ensuring that you fail. Those individuals who pretend that they support you while going behind your back and saying and doing things in the hopes that it will affect you. You have a fake and phony friend right now who is probably praying for you to fail. And if they have anything to do with it, you will. The friend that is always trying to one-up you or trying to block your progress. You remember the time that they got drunk or high and they told you what they really feel and then tried to take it back when they sobered up? That friend. The hypocrite friend that says they are one thing, but they are really another. They do things behind your back and other things to spite you, the whole time pretending to be a friend. However, if someone like the person I just described is in your life and takes advantage of you and gets the best of you, there's really no one you can blame but yourself because they are showing you who they are. Even when they are trying to hide it, it is abundantly clear that they do not have your best interests at heart. In that moment, it is your responsibility to accept this and move accordingly. One of my biggest mistakes is that I attempted to deny the obvious, and you have attempted to deny the obvious as well. People are clearly showing us how they feel about us, and we choose to ignore it. Those friends, girlfriends, acquaintances, and even family members display their true feelings about us, and some will even tell you directly. And we attempt to ignore them and pretend that we did not see what is so very clear. I have made this mistake a number of times, and it has cost me more than you know. It has cost me money. It has caused me stress. But most of all, it has caused me to lose time that I can never get back. So I guess what I'm telling you, the person listening to this video right now, identify that person in your life that is more of a hindrance than a help. Identify that person in your life that you have helped or are currently helping, but you know that they would never do the same for you. Identify that person who always wants things from you, but will never give you anything in return. Those people who want to monopolize your time, but will never let you interfere with theirs. Those people who are only around to bring you negativity and hope that you fail. Those people that only come around to borrow money or use you for favors. Once you identify these people, begin to systematically remove them from your life. They will not be difficult to identify. As a matter of fact, you already know who they are. You have just let them linger way too long because you do not want to accept who they really are. The longer you let these people hang around, the more difficult your life will become. So if you have learned nothing else from this video, learn this. When people show you who they are, believe them. And with that, let me know what you think in the comments section. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have a so-called frenemy, or are you in a terrible relationship that you can identify to what I just said? Let me know in the comments section. And thank you for joining me for another session. And until next time, take care.